Okay, so I didn't bore you with me vigorously working to get the oil out of this gear case on my rotary cutter. I'll just show you kind of what I've been doing. I got the tube down into the case here. It's one of the little Harbor Freight pumps, and just work on getting the oil out as much as I can, because over time as this heats and cools, even when it's not running, you build up moisture in there, and then you end up with milky oil which isn't lubricating enough to take the heat away. It really wasn't that bad, but I'd rather change it out than have to buy a new one of those. And then the next thing we'll do is we'll slip the clutch. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring you in on that or not. There's plenty of better videos explaining how to do it, and since I'll be going back and forth, probably not as much fun to watch, but hopefully I can get this done here in a little bit, and then I'll take you along and we'll do a little cutting of fields with the old rotary cutter. Alright, we got the last of the oil out. I'm going to put it here in this recycle jug. Remember folks, recycle your oil, take it to wherever it's an auto parts store or whatever, or sometimes the sanitation districts have a place set up to take waste oil, but don't go dumping it on the back 40. Alright, so that part's done. Now we'll add some gear oil to this, up to the here, I'll take my gloves off so I can handle the camera. So fill it up so it just barely comes out of the weep here, then that should be good to go. Then we'll work on the slip clutch. Vent kit's attached. Everything's greased on the PTO and the tail wheel. Slip clutch has been burnt in and tightened back up. All my hookups seem like they're in the right places. But you never know when you start mowing what's happening, so I'll change positions of the camera and we'll get started. Alright, done mowing. Now the post-mowing kind of cleanup. Use the Ryobi air gun here. Shoot any of the loose particles out that I can. It's easier than dragging out a compressor, fighting it with it. So I'm going to shoot this around, knock off some of the dust and stuff out of the engine compartment, maybe a little off the mower deck. I'm probably going to leave the mower hooked up because I've just got a feeling I'm going to be back out here in a couple weeks. I still can move logs. The 600 pounds on the back make quite the counterbalance. It's not as maneuverable, but I don't have that much to move right now. My digger guys should be coming in a week or so. If it's okay with them, I'll try to do some filming of them clearing out the space that I started, and you can see what it's like having big machines to do it instead of just a compact tractor. So I'm going to clean this thing off, or at least get some of the stuff off, and I'll talk to you about some of the mowing tips that I have. I'm not an expert, but maybe somebody will get something out of it. Okay, wrap up on rotary cutting, brush hogging, whatever you want to call it. You saw the grass was probably about that tall in a lot of spots, maybe a little taller. Probably was, well, I've cut worse with this, but I'd like to keep up on it a little bit, but the summer sort of got away with me. Other projects have gotten away. But the big thing when you're using the rotary cutter, if you rent one of them to use on your own tractor, on your PTO, make sure you got plenty of fuel. This uses more fuel than any other operation I do with the tractor. What else? Make sure you got a good grease gun. Probably the electric ones are a must. You got quite a few points on the brush hog itself that's got to be greased. Plus you want to grease up your machine pretty good before you do it, because it is a workout on the machine. You saw me blow things off at the end, keeping all that grass and dust out of there. The dust off the deck of the mower keeps the water from sticking on it. That doesn't get a big mud puddle, a lot of rust out the deck. Eventually I will get something put together so I can roll this underneath some sort of cover for the winter and for the months or the times I'm not using it. So what else? Take your time. It's a lot of stuff sticking off the back of your machine, so weight wise it can make you tippy. You also can wipe out a whole lot of stuff considering the distance that it sticks out the back. So take your time. Those aren't little blades swinging around back there. If they hit stuff, they're going to sling it and cause some damage on, if it hits a rock and sends it chips flying. So take your time, make sure there's nobody around. The usual safety precautions, but even more so, this is a heck of a lot bigger lawnmower than my old Cub Cadet over there. So I don't know, watch some of the other tractor guys. I mean, my channel isn't exclusively tractors. I just use them here on the farm. Tractor Time with Tim or something like that. And there's a couple other tractor centric video guys on YouTube. Check out some of their stuff on use of the rotary cutter. Is it worth it? Well, depending on how big of a grass areas you get, eventually it's gonna pay in your time. It is a big investment for something that you're only going to use 4 or 5 times a year if you live up here in the north. Sometimes only 2. If I was down south, I would think about it seriously, because I know you're going to be mowing more often. Season's a lot longer. You can do a little, they call it a brush hog, but that doesn't mean that you can go and back into a whole bunch of bushes and knock them down. If there are raspberry canes, other aspen shoots coming up out in these pastures, it'll handle it. It's supposed to go up to like 2 inches in diameter, so what's that, about that big? So it is going to hurt it if it hits some sticks, let's put it that way. And with the slip cuts, the way this cutter works, they're not fixed blades, they're swinging, some big heavy weights. It doesn't give you a good cut, as you can tell. If you look at my grass here in this pasture, it's not like a lawnmower. It's just breaking off the grass, basically. So if you want it cleaner after that, you're going to have to use something like a riding lawnmower or zero turn to come in afterwards. But if all you're trying to do is knock the grass down so it's not like wading through it, so you're doing nothing but feeding the ticks, well, this is the way to do it. And then you can follow up. You know, you don't have to mow your whole area down fine. You know, where you're walking, go in with the riding mower and make a better path, or where your dogs are running, stuff like that. You can figure it out. But it's eventually, if you've got a tractor, it's something to think about. You know, you got to match your RPMs up and your weight, and you know that's something that you're going to have to do some research on for whatever particular tractor you're running. But it might be the worthwhile investment. So that's all I got today. Hopefully I'll get some other stuff coming up here in the next few days. Do some more filming. We'll see how it goes. All right, bye.